Okay, so I wanted to follow up a little bit with my Doge and data video that went mini viral. So some people were commenting that, oh, this is a conspiracy, this is just conjecture. Well, a week after I published that video, Larry Ellison, who is the CEO and I believe also the founder of Oracle, which is a huge cloud computing manager of data, came out and said that he thinks that all US data should be consolidated into one place conveniently with Oracle, and this should include DNA data. And I've already said it before on here that I am a scientist by training, a biomedical scientist. My degree is in molecular genetics. This is an awful idea, especially if we do not get the ethics and the parameters upon which we can use AI under control. So in addition to wanting to consolidate all federal data to his cloud system, Larry Ellison also suggested that AI could be used to train and conduct surveillance within the United States. That raises a huge privacy concern. It is anti-freedom, it's anti-liberty, it's unpatriotic, and I find it very funny that the main people that had an issue with my initial video are people that would call themselves so-called patriots and for the American way, but this is anti-American. American citizens are not criminals. We cannot allow ourselves to be or allow these people to surveil us as if we are such. We have freedom of movement and we have freedom of speech, but that comes into peril when you're under complete surveillance, because whether you know it or not, you act in certain ways. You moderate your behavior, and I'm not talking about, not committing crime or not doing something that you know is illegal, but even speaking out against certain things because you are under surveillance. So I don't like the direction that this is going at all. I hope to do a deeper dive into that later, but just to give you a primer, especially with regards to the DNA data stuff, that is a huge problem because genes are not there in a lot of instances. Like we've sequenced the human genome. We know certain genes that are connected with certain diseases, but I'll give you Alzheimer's disease as an example. The number one genetic risk factor for Alzheimer's disease is an ApoE4 allele. So having that particular allele at the gene locus for ApoE, right? So, but the thing is, most people that get Alzheimer's disease are not ApoE4 positive, let's say. So even though that's a large genetic risk factor, that does not equate to actually getting disease in a lot of instances, because a lot of people just don't have it, right? But the point I'm making with regards to genes is that what if they consolidate all of this data, including criminal data, and then they start to find, quote unquote, or the AI predicts a link between, let's say, eye color and criminality. What does the government do with that information? Does the government just say, oh, well, there's this causal link and that's the end of it? Or would the government say, okay, people that, let's say, have gray eyes, they are at a slightly increased risk of committing larceny. Therefore, we need to be mindful and watchful of people with gray eyes. That is not the type of state you want to be in, because it's just the fact of having gray eyes in this instance is not a crime. It is a happenstance. And even if there is some type of link, people have their own individual motivations, and it doesn't mean that they are going to go on to commit crime. I think you can see where this is going with regards to crime and, let's say, skin color, eye color, hair texture, or other physical traits. It kind of leads to a slippery slope of eugenics. And people think that, oh, this is conspiratorial or this is some type of science fiction nonsense. It really isn't, because we have people that are on the far right that do believe in these things, that do believe, oh, your genes are your destiny. They believe in biodeterminism, whereby whatever is in your genetic code is a direct readout of how you're going to behave as a human being. But we know that nurture and your environment and other conditions have a big role in how people express their genes and their behavior ultimately. So I would suggest everyone read up on this. It's Larry Ellison, the founder and CEO of Oracle. He has suggested this. I already have come to my conclusion that I believe that Elon is training XAI with government data sets. And that's another thing. A lot of people were saying, oh, well, the government already has all of this information. They already have all this information, even through PayPal and everything. That wasn't the point. The point was that it's all consolidated and it can be de-anonymized to, blackmail people or come up with be commercialized in some way that is against the American citizen. Also, this is a big thing that has been coming up in the AI world and the machine learning world, is that they're running out of data sets upon which to train these machine learning algorithms. Like, they've mined a lot of protein data sets, genomic data sets to kind of learn let's say the molecular grammar behind DNA synthesis or how human genes came to be. But in other applications, they're running out of this data. The US has the biggest database of a modern society that is accessible to these people in the United States. And it's very important that we get control of it. We hammer out the ethics concerns around it, impose some limitations on it so it doesn't get out of control or get into the wrong hands. So that is just my quib for this morning. I wanted to send it straight out before I continued on with the rest of my day. I hope the rest of you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.